So hello, welcome to another build video, this time for PvP, the first time I've ever thrown my hat into the ring for PvP. I will say this straight off the bat, though I have a lot of faith in the build that I have made for PvP, I don't necessarily have the same faith in my actual play. I'm still quite low ranked, so you're welcome to completely ignore my advice if you want. This is just my initial impressions and what I feel is a very strong build. So I've been messing around with Engineer a lot. I find Engineer just a lot of fun in PvP. Scrapper in particular, very useful with the function gyro for rezzing and downing people. So let's talk about the build. So for the skills, we're using pistol pistol. It's a condition build, so straight away different from my other scrapper build, but we are using a couple of the same utilities. We're using medic gyro. I really like this medical skill because of this heal skill because of the F1. Gives you that protection field. Really good for fights when you're in like clusters of people and you're protecting your allies as well, so that's really helpful. Elixir U. I drink this like when I know I don't need a break stun for just extra damage, or it's always good to have a break stun in your bar. It's a philosophy I carry through into PvP. Elixir B. I take this just to give lots of boons, lots of fury, and also so that we gain access to toss Elixir B. So one of my main thinkings about PvP is that you need some form of stability. You need to be able to put stab on yourself for those situations that a break stun's just not going to cut it. And then I've got flamethrower. So the main reason you take flamethrower is so you can get incendiary ammo. This does a lot of damage. This adds to your burst considerably. And and then also you've got air blast. So air blast pushes people back. So this is what you use when someone is stomping someone without stability. You can knock them back from the stomp. There's you can use napalm, like in tactical situations. If there's lots of people clumped up, you can use it. Or a combo I quite like to use is throwing glue shot down, switching to flamethrower, and then throwing napalm, so that a few ticks of this go off on the person that's caught in the glue shot. And also, obviously, if you fire through it, fire through the fire, you've got a chance of proccing the burning shot. So that's particularly useful. And then sneak gyro. So sneak gyro is really good. Stealths you up. Very good panic skill. Just bear in mind you cannot take points while you are stealthed. So if you're going towards a point and there's no one around, just destroy it. But my favourite thing about this is the tool belt skill, detection pulse. This ability essentially means thieves are useless in PvP. It's on a 20-second cooldown and it reveals for 6 seconds. Like, a thief will never be a problem if you have this. That's one of the main reasons I take Scrapper over Engineer. So that's the skills. So for gear, it's pretty simple. I'm using the Sigil of Earth, extra bleeds on hits, and when you don't have your burns up, that's very useful. And 6% to current condition damage. I'm still messing around with these. I haven't really decided what I think is the best yet. I'm gonna mess around, maybe try Sigil of Smouldering here, just to really capitalize on those burns, which I've in my experience are how you get the kills. It's all about the burn. And then the Rune of the Nightmare. This is very good rune for PvP. 50% chance to cause that fear for 1 second. So when you start a fight, this just happens. You end up fearing people away, and this is really good for like people that sort of jump onto you, they just immediately get feared away. Plus that 15% condition duration is really good, really good rune for PvP. This, in my opinion. And then the Wanderer's Amulet. It's a condition build, so we're focusing on condition. I've gone with Wanderers because like I feel that you should have a bit of toughness. You should have a bit of a toughness in your build. I mean, you could go for things with higher actual damage, but I've even messed around with using Rabid, and even with Rabid, this build does a lot of damage. And so if you feel that you need a little bit more survivability, you can switch out to Rabid. But I like to run Wanderers just to get that little bit of extra burst. And yeah, and it just generally fits nicely in with the build. You get a bit of survivability from toughness, and then you get a lot from traits, which I'll talk about now. So traits. Anyone who's seen my Stone Cannon Scrapper build will be familiar with the concept we're running here with elixirs and the alchemy line. So what have we got here? We've got drink elixir B when struck below the threshold. So you've got the elixir B. Before you go into a fight, you pop it. You get 4 boons, and when you go below 75%, you get them back again. So you know you're keeping fury on yourself consistently. You're keeping retaliation on yourself consistently in a PvP fight, because you know the fights, they just rarely last half a minute. You know, game protection whenever you're disabled. I like this as well. On the other hand, the protection you gain from this is useful, particularly when people tend to stun you when they're just about to use very useful, you know, very high damage skills. So I like this trait. Incoming conditions convert. Nice bonus. Drink elixir S when you're struck below the health threshold. So this is very nice for PvP. You know, it's a free elixir S. And you know it's a automatic panic trigger that goes off when you're taking lots of damage. You rarely get one shot from above 25%. In fact, you never get one shot from above 25%. So you know this will keep you alive in certain situations. Also, if you're really low and you start stomping someone, even if you go into, you know, if this procs, you will continue to stomp someone, and that actually makes you immune to CC at the time as well. So that's a really nice trait for finishing people off and surviving in situations where you probably shouldn't. Throwing elixirs, remove conditions. You've got 2 thrown elixirs here, plus consuming elixirs as well. So every time you drink elixir B, you drink elixir U, you throw elixir U, you throw elixir B, you're removing conditions. So that's your primary source of condition removal, along with the 1 condition you get removed every 15 seconds. And here, Iron Blooded. This is, as I mentioned in my other build, my other scrapper build, this is so strong. Incoming damage is reduced for each boon on you. So you're able to get a lot of builds on you, and that gives you protection as well. So that's 30%. We had like 7 or 8 boons. You know, this number consistently stays at 6 to 8%, and you know peaks when you actually want it at 12 to 14. You know, even higher sometimes, and then you get the protection on top of it, so you get a 44% damage reduction when you really need it, and that's how you get it. You know, that's how you run the Wanderer's Amulet, and you still be tanky as hell while you're playing this. So it's really important, this trait. A lot of people run this trait. I just don't. I don't think that power even slightly equates to the amount of survivability you get from this. So yeah, that's the alchemy line. And the firearms. So this is all about condition damage. This line, Pistols have increased condition duration using pistols, so that's great. Condition damage based on your precision. Again, like, it's all about condition damage this build, so that's what you're going for. And burning you apply lasts longer. Well, longer burning, that's really good. Plus your critical hits inflict burning, so this really increases your burst when you start a fight. You get that extra 5k on your target straight away. Well, it's not straight away, over the first 7.5 seconds, but yeah. So Scrapper line, and you can take tools here, but I really like Scrapper and PvP. The ability to res and stump someone from distance is just priceless. It's I cannot count the number of times that Scrapper has helped me in PvP. It's just truly brilliant. So what have we got here? We've got, when a function gyro is activated, you and the function gyro gain stability. So this allows you to 100% stomp guardians, 100% stomp warriors, 100% stomp rangers. There's no way to stop the function gyro from downed if it has stability on it. There are a few professions that you need to be slightly more sensible about, like the elementalist. You don't want to set off a stability gyro downing an elementist straight away. You want to wait for him to use mist form first, and then do it. Similarly with the thief and the mesmer, they all have a way of sort of moving a bit, and that it can mess up the function gyro, and it just doesn't, it doesn't think properly. So you need to be smart about when you actually proc this. But the function gyro, very strong in PvP. When you successfully ride an ally or finish an enemy, grant boons to nearby allies. Well, this is just, really good. In long fights, giving might out's very nice. Giving super speed out even better. Like, it's you're going to be stomping people, you're going to be reviving people a lot. That's the point of Scrapper in PvP. So this is really good. Rapidly regenerate while affected by swiftness. So you're getting a lot of swiftness from your Elixir B, the automatic proc of Elixir B, the throw Elixir, B. You're getting a lot of swiftness from this build. So rapidly regenerate health. You could look at some other things here, standing at gain power based on your toughness, a little bit of extra. There's slightly more dealer's choice here. I like this because just a little bit of extra regen. You're very survivable anyway, so having more health is always good. And then this trait, I think this is completely irreplaceable in this build. Again, gaining stacking toughness while when struck, and reduce incoming condition damage. So very good in PvP. It's condition damage reduced by 20% straight away. That's insane. That's ridiculously good. And then you add on top of that the toughness you get from that. You get a lot of toughness from your rune set as well, your Wanderer's amulet rather, and then you get the damage reduction from all these elixirs as well. So you're running at a very survivable yet bursty build here. So that's the traits. So I've picked a bit of footage here from a PvP game I played, and I'm just coming up on a point, so I'm going to play the footage now. So I'm coming up with a point, and I see there's a dragon hunter just sitting on it. I think, right, this is my time to shine. This build excels at killing dragon hunters. It's one of my favorite things about it. So the first thing I do is I put down my throw elixir U. Now I have a dust wall blocking all longbow attacks from the dragon hunter. He decides at this point that he wants to fire his number 5 skill from the sky, just so he can actually hit me. Before the encounter, I had popped stability though, so that he couldn't pull me onto his traps. Very important part of dealing with dragon hunter. So here, he's essentially completely useless against me. He cannot shoot me. I can shoot him, and I'm getting really nice stacks of burning on him, and I've taken basically 0 damage. And at this point, I think to myself, right, now I'll deploy my function gyro. And why will I do that? Because my function gyro is going to set off every single one of his traps. And look, they all go. Perfect. All his traps are neutered. Now I can go in, I pop quickness, and I do a stomp. Straight away, I've completely destroyed a dragon hunter, like trying to bunker down on a point, and it's so good, this build for dragon hunter killing, and it's one of the reasons I really like it. So that was just a little clip from PvP. I might upload sort of montage at some point, but you know, for now you get the sort of idea about what we're going for with this build. You know, the utility you can get from Throne Elixir U, Throne Elixir B, and the survivability you can get. So yeah. So there you have it. That's my my first engineer PvP build. It's kind of built off the same thing as the stone cannon PvE build. So let's call it the Stone Burninator. Scrapper. Yeah, that's a great name. Let's stick with that. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Tell a friend.